The following changes have occurred over the past 24 hours. Fighting continues in the Great Britain sector of the front. In the Kolodezny area, aviation regularly processes enemy positions. In its eastern part, the FAB pilots destroyed the deployment point of the armed forces of Ukraine in the form of the 159th Brigade. So far, the fighters are gradually approaching this point. They squeeze the enemy out of the forest belts and woodlands. In addition, 2 UAV control points and the Oktava RAP station, which is a new development from the Ukrainian side, were eliminated on this sector of the front. To the south, in the Golobka area, the presence of the enemy is recorded. In addition to drones and artillery fire, Russian troops will also use tanks. In one example, tankers fired at Ukrainian forces in a bulky screwdriver. It connects Golobka and Kondrashovka. In the second example, the shelling occurred in the southwestern part of the village. According to the description, this was the temporary location of the enemy. Attempts by Ukrainian forces to go out on Golubovka were also reported at the end of last year. Visual data is now available. The line of collision is shifting. There is activity in Kupinsk to ensure that the Russian side improves the situation in its western part. In addition to small arms, soldiers also use engineering ammunition. In this event, a Russian infantryman ran up to school number 1 from the southwest side. To the west, across the street, there is a dilapidated city hospital, which has always been held and is being held by the Russian side. After the explosives were thrown at a safe distance, the facility partially collapsed. To the south, Russian aviation continues to work on logistics Petrovka. Its northern and southern halves are separated by the Osinka River, through which a road bridge is laid. The pilot threw 2 fabs at him. It flew nearby, so the road structure was damaged. On the left bank of the Oskol River, there is a continuous detection of damage to UAV control points. One of them was eliminated near the eastern part of Kolesnikovka. In the Slavansk direction, Russian troops are maintaining an offensive pace of fighting. In Lipovka, the opponents were struck by a building in front of the columns. He claimed that it was a shelter for the Russian military. Promotion is being added from Nikiforovka. The soldiers are systematically approaching the edge of Alexandrovka. There are also changes in the Reznikovka area. In its central part, assault groups are fighting with the Ukrainian armed forces, where they are approaching Oleniki. From the north of the point, the soldiers are squeezing the Ukrainian forces out of the elevated territory. In the clashes, the beams got hold of the screwdriver. A little to the north, the enemy's positions were pushed through with the capture of forest belts and with the entry into another trench. The infantry is supported by the gunners. A UAV control point was found near the place of advance. The military destroyed it with 1 shell. The drones carried out fire correction. Just in the shooting, the northern part of this town is visible, the forested area of which is already controlled by the Russian side. There is a workflow underway to fully capture it. In the area of Kryvoy Luka, the enemy is also retreating. The guards entered the eastern part of this village and also advanced along the Cretaceous Flora Reserve. To the south, the troops of unmanned systems and gunners destroyed equipment and manpower, which helps the infantry advance to the front line. On the opposite bank of the Seversky Donets River in the Ilichevka area, the soldiers advanced further, where they reached a water barrier. The eastern position of the remaining part of the armed forces of Ukraine has become dramatically more complicated, as it has become cut off from its main forces. In Velichevka, Ukrainian operators persistently use drones. They are preventing the fighters from advancing in its southern part. From the northwest of Debrova, the combat groups expanded the control zone on the approaches to the old caravan. The enemy conducts counter-actions to stop the advance. A little to the north, the fighters improved their position near the Slavyansk-Krasny-Lyman highway. The military is making its way to the southern part of the Red Estuary. The Russian side is striving to preserve the isolated area of military operations from the northern Seversky Donets River. In Bogorodichny, in mid-January, the Russian side showed how the combat juice reached the middle of the crossing. Subsequently, a devastating explosion occurred. The ferry was rendered unusable. By the end of January, the Ukrainian forces had restored it. An aerial bomb attack on this crossing was shown today. 2 of the 3 fabs hit her. In the end, additional exploration was carried out. it is problematic to use it on the equipment. For the transfer of equipment, the Ukrainian armed forces still have the opportunity to use the Yeremovka-Studenok crossing. He can use the bridge from Lavra to the main part of Svetogorsk on foot. Russian troops continue to hit Ukrainian military installations. In Zaporizhia, on the territory of the Alexandrovskaya 2 substation, the enemy installed additional protection for 2 power transformers. A local resident filmed the moment of burning of one of them, Gorenge. After that, the resurrection of the second one abruptly appeared. The Snegorevka substation is located in the Novovasilievka area of the Kherson region. The Russian operators used the same means to process this electrical installation. At the end, a fire of a destroyed power transformer was shown. On it, stability in energy transfer conversion became more difficult for the enemy. The fighting continues.